So I'm going to add a second kind of shape on this tessellated design. I'm going to kind of shift this up. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. I'm going to add a new pen tool, right? I'm going to wait till I kind of line up. I'm going to make sure I'm on that edge. I'm just going to create another soft little curve design to put on the other side of my shape. Nothing too crazy. Wait till I line that back up. And we're going to hit that point again. And I should have, a nice kind of easy shape. I'm going to copy and paste it just like I did last time. Remember, this one doesn't have a fill color. It's just kind of showing me the initial outline of the path. It's going to help me line this up. I want to make sure I'm not only hitting the rectangle, but also lined up with the other side, right? So I'm going to zoom back out. I'm going to do that nice drag and drop technique. It's going to bring me all of my shape options, and I'm going to exclude again, right? And so this is for that connected design. Now, I don't love these corners, but here we are, right? This is really going to help the shape fit. So I'm going to hold down the shift key, because if I don't remember, it's going to get really wonky really fast. And then I'm going to copy and paste this whole thing. Remember, when we exclude, it kind of condenses everything down to one thing. I'm going to add a second color to my new pasted design. Green. I don't know why. We're going to just roll with green. I'm very picky when it comes to color. And so now, because it's based off a square, it's going to make this really easy to kind of line up. And voila, they fit like a glove when you do this method, right? And so it can be really simple, really fun. I'm going to go and paste another shape. Perhaps have another shape on the other side. And what I can do on this one, I'm just going to kind of line this up. And of course, I can kind of play around with my arrow keys on my keyboard and really line it up. But I can also distort my shapes so they can get smaller. Remember, I recommend you guys play with scale, play with color. That is one thing you can do, is you can kind of start to warp and manipulate your design, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of delete that. I just wanted to show you guys that was an option. But what I also wanted to show you is, you can duplicate just like we did with the other one. Now that you have the initial design shape, that's where you're going to sink a lot of time. And then you're also going to start to play with color. But I want to show you that, I can embed an image instead of a color. You can also do radial gradients and linear gradients, which is really fun, right? So I like to do the radial gradients. Maybe I want a nice kind of bright yellow hue. And so you see how it's kind of has this dot around my shape now. I get to pick how much of that dark part of the gradient I see. I can kind of move the center point. So if I wanted it really dark, I can kind of pull this up a little bit. Maybe. Oh no. Hold on, bear with. Moving my actual shape here. That's not what I wanted. All right, there we go. So I can kind of wheel this around, kind of manipulate how much of the dark shape I want. But the benefit to doing gradients is that you can kind of really have this trippiness to the design, right? So I'm going to go ahead and group this together just so you guys can see that, duplicating them a lot can be, it's really easy to kind of get that overall pattern vibe once you, have your initial design. I keep doing that lately, where it kind of condenses them all in one. All right, so I'm going to slide this down, right? I can definitely kind of, link these back up. I can also use my arrow keys to just go very slightly, see it move just ever so slightly. It's going to help a lot, but I can also create, a border around my shapes if I wanted to. Let's go for a 0.01. It's always a good, nice standard. But it can kind of help create a nice border if you want more division. But just like I said, you guys can group something. I can ungroup it as well. Helps to kind of get your shapes, but now I can go back and change individual colors, right? So let's say I wanted this time a linear gradient. Maybe I want something purple, because why not? Slip down here to the purple colors. And, you can play with that kind of color interaction as much as you want. You can also play with the opacity of these gradients, right? So maybe this one's a little more transparent. You can overlap. There's so many things that you can do. But the next thing I'm going to show you, I'm going to go to some of my designs that I've already pre-done, just to kind of give you an idea of the possibilities.